It is January the 31st, 2017. We're streaming Beautiful Girl by Dana on YouTube. We're covering the Fukushima nuclear meltdowns. Cause, hell, someone gotta do it. Morning, everybody. I wear a sweater this morning because it's cold. Everything's covered in frost. Just too cold for the jacket. Here we go. Because I don't really use much heat. And paying the price for it today. Japan crews are facing a 100-year battle. Well, it's okay. It's like a banana and a potato chip to shut your pie hole. Now, we know the building's melted down because we got the heat signature. We don't really need the kooky nuclear. Well, nuclear's kooky is all I meant by that statement. Is that kooky. They're kooky people. Like anybody in the nuclear industry, they're shady. You're better off hanging out with crackheads than you are with anything from the nuclear industry. I'd rather hang out with known murderers. I'd rather have Ted Bundy next door than a nuclear scientist or a nuclear apologist or people that work to cover it up, that are monitoring us right now, that would love to come here and kill me. Now, Arriva, just bought by friends. Now, this is back in 2011. Says there's been a release of fissionable product. Oops, and a meltdown. Big word. Scary word. These are not words you want to become familiar with, but that is your future. You're going to be considered an imbecile if you don't understand this in the near future. People will look at you like you got 6 heads and say, "What? You don't even fucking know what they got done to us?" It's a big deal. They've been lying about it for 6 years. Recriticality. These are words that are the most frightening thing imaginable. We are talking about an event upon this planet. That's what we're... Who knows where this is going to lead us? We're talking about an event. That's the only way you can explain in any detail the significance of what you're looking at. On both sides of it, you're going to see... Let me get rid of all the junk. Hang on. Because it becomes a distraction, right? I want to see my hands moving back and forth, but whatever, Dina. The rest of it doesn't matter when it comes to doing stuff like this. This is Unit 2. See, it blew out this panel on the back of it. That's the only noticeable exterior damage. But it's no different than that one behind me that's completely destroyed. It's no different than Reactor 1. This is Reactor 3. Well, there is a difference because Reactor 3 was mixed oxide fuel. This is where they reclaimed the uranium, plutonium from nuclear missiles and silos and everything else. And we use this particular mic because it's a richer sound than the small ones right now, but we're working out the kinks. So good morning, everybody, and we can't import everybody. I had it work, for 2 days? Now it doesn't work. Can't import the external computer for some reason. Because it's so complicated, most likely. Everything about what I do, all the equipment I'm using is just unbelievably stupid. Complicated in order to tell you the story. Now, yesterday, headlines came out at Unit 2. We're going to get to those headlines very quickly. But in 2011, when the accident happened, it's like it matters every day since then. It matters recently, but it happened 6 years ago. This is what you're supposed to talk about. You're not supposed to talk about yesterday or per se or last week as much as you should always talk about what happened. What happened, right? We talk about Chernobyl in that context whenever we talk about these events. But when it comes to Fukushima, apparently you're not allowed to talk about what happened. The ejection of the material. And there was up to 1 million sievers between the buildings, the reactors. Now, 5 will kill you. If you walk past it, you're dead in 2 weeks. Congress released redacted documents that say part of Unit 2 core got so hot. And what do you mean by chain reactions? It runs away. It becomes so hot it hits temperatures of around 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So once it reaches these kind of, even 5,000, even 3,000, even, but it'll go all the way to 9,000, say, but there's nothing that can contain it. It's not outside the reactor vessel, it's outside the building, it's outside the compound, it's gone down into the earth. The Regulatory Commission thinks the reactor in Unit 2 of Japan disabled plant got so hot it melted through. So we already know it's gone. But recently they confirmed the building is empty. Now it's the only building that's still intact on the site of the 4 buildings. Now, it had a running reactor core. By the way, we need to raise money. We haven't raised any money to accomplish the basics with. And I always mention it way too late. Instead of raising money so it don't happen to me, I wait till we run out of money and then I try to raise again, right? And this is stupid because it puts me in the same position where I am now, where we can't even put fuel in the boat and go out on the ocean. Is a big win for the industry. I'm just trying to find a conversation because I didn't open up another window. I just want to get that up so it's working. Plutonium, which is man-made, and it's a major byproduct because you're using uranium-238 as the basis of everything. And it captures a neutron, becomes 239 plutonium. It's that simple, see? But plutonium is a fission product. It's very dangerous. The 239 is considered one of the fission products. Fission products are different than some of the isotopes you're going to find in the ionizing radiant. They're more volatile. They're more agitated. They're a bigger issue for your body. But it blew the buildings apart. Creep rupture. U.S. says number 2 reactor core probably leaked. The creep rupture is the actual interior containment. It implies the damage is even worse than previously thought. Now, inside the building, up high in the building, are the fuel pools up above me. So these are the reactor cores. They take out of here, which is the center of the building. This is reactor 4. These were 190-foot high buildings. And here was a couple of reactor cores, and over here is a few reactor cores. Roughly around 10 years, up to 20 years, maybe even 40 years of reactor cores being stored. These massive pools in these massive buildings. Now, if you don't understand that, I'll break that down for you. The buildings are 190 foot. They won't admit that Reactor 2 core is gone. They won't admit that, see? They won't admit that that building is destroyed. But they're willing to come out and talk about the one that looks okay. They're willing to say, okay, we think it's gone out of the building, but they're not willing to say it's gone out of the building in Reactor 3, and they're not willing to say it's gone out of the building in Reactor 4, which is this one. Here's a better depiction. Before they killed tens of thousands of people, homeless, destitute immigrants, and the victims of society, trying to accomplish that much from there. Because Harvard and Yale and Berkeley and Stanford and Oxford and MIT, the major shakers and movers, are not going to go into this facility area. You can't go in there. You go in there, you die. Even though Arnie says people went in there. And he says the fuel pools are still above that place over there. Don't worry about it. He's a nuclear scientist. Don't you dare question Arnie Gunnarsson, who made the fuel. Now, they're not willing to admit that that is gone, but they're willing to admit now, apparently, that that is gone. We'll get to those headlines coming up. Broken pieces of nuclear fuel rods. You're talking about walk past it kills you. That's what a broken piece of a fuel rod means. The fuel rods are about 12 feet, 18 pounds. We'll cover that. We're going to bang right through this. U.S. nuke industry report. Explosions at Unit 1, 3, 4 may have caused inventory to be lost from the pools. Once again, there's 3 and there's 4. The pools are up high in the building like we showed you earlier, and in the very center of the building. The very center is missing, obviously. And Unit 4, it's missing completely, right? They went from there to making it look pretty with thousands of homeless. This is how they got to that stage. Remember, the isotopes are many. Uranium is the biggest byproduct, and curium. Cesium is a tracer. Americium is a byproduct. Heavy, nasty neptuniums are byproducts. Plutonium, these are all man-made. Curiums are all made from uranium. Everything you see in there is made from uranium. You put uranium in there. But originally, you're taking 238 and getting 235 for fission. So it's a whole nasty process. But curium killed all the animals and all those experiments, same as plutonium did, right? And that neptunium and americium daughters are hot particles. And cesium and strontium are just tracers. Let's keep going. Remember, the destruction is complete. The lie is vicious. The manipulation is ongoing, non-stop, using people that come across as legit but are not. Won't show you the documentation or talk about the things we do. Obviously are not legit. These are the important topics. This panel is the only noticeable damage to that particular building. So it's a pretty safe one then to start easing out. But this is not like where they done something and the shareholders are going to come after them and say, right? And so they're being careful. This is about they kill the Pacific and their own country. But it takes a few decades for that normally to manifest. Unfortunately, in 6 years, we see it manifest and accelerate the extremely radioactive material. New York Times, quoting an anonymous source, leak is likely to widen with time. Well, this is 6 years later. But there they are telling you it's meltdown. What meltdown means is it's going to leave the environment. We'll get up to recent headlines in a second. Radioactivity at 10 million times. March the 27th, that same month, 10 million times usual levels in number 2. workers homeless, the destitute, the victims, not your academics, not your scientists, not your government employees, but the homeless. Be very clear about that every time you see a headline that says worker. You're not talking about people that can read or write very well. You're not talking about people that come from a stable environment or have a health care plan or that are qualified to be in that environment. We need to sacrifice every nuclear scientist on the planet to this. We need to send them in there, make them stay there until they die, because they will die pretty quick. But it's better to send them in and find out what to do next and send in more nuclear scientists. And by the time we kill them all off, we'll have a lot done. Like, it's okay to get rid of nuclear scientists now. The world will understand how bizarre that sounds, I'm sure. This is what they're doing to your friends and your families and your loved ones. Okay to get rid of you, but it's not okay to get rid of the murderers. These people nuclear scientists are just bald-faced murderers. They're not good for anything. They're hopeless, pointless, useless, sacks of skin. They're not human like me or you. Nobody spoke out. No nuclear scientist has ever said, oh, it's not like a banana. Or like getting out of an airplane. Yeah, this is a cult. Nuclear is a cult. It's as simple as that. You're brainwashed willingly, and you're a vicious lawyer. You can't be a vicious lawyer like a nuclear scientist is, the nuclear PR firms. You can't be an outrageous lawyer. Be human too. Not in this context. Damage is at Unit 2 is what prompted the evacuating Fukushima worker, not Unit 4, which is completely destroyed, or Unit 3, which was the mix oxide killer fuel. No. Dina. Unit 2, Dina. Damn it. You won't listen to me. Keep telling me it's Unit 2. It was all the scary shit. Don't mind me. Damage at Unit 2 is what prompted TEPCO to say, hey, fuck it. TEPCO says increase of radioactive releases is from workers going in and out of Reactor 2. I think we all lost our fucking mind on that. Get the fuck. Oh, sorry, I forgot we were streaming for a second. Just want to scream sometimes. I'll wait till later when the stream is over. You'll hear it. If you're in the neighborhood way down the road, you'll say, what the fuck happened up there, man? I'm going to call 911. It sounded like fucking scary shit. Somebody saying, so it's just Dana snapping. Don't worry about it. Police will go, oh, no, that's Dana. It's okay. He's allowed to freak. You don't go in there, you die. You don't come back out. You block up the doorway. Harvard, Yale, Berkeley, Stanford, MIT, Oxford. You fucking people will be hated in less than a couple of years beyond anything conceivable. And anything you can imagine. Because you won't come out and help. Because you won't speak out. And it's too late. 6 years into it. You already lost your opportunity to come out and save yourselves. I can't wait until the whole planet snaps and comes looking for you fuckers. Radiation skyrockets to 100 sieverts an hour. 5 will kill you. Not maybe. Not. You gotta hang out for 30 seconds. Not. You gotta hang out for an hour. Not. You just gotta go fucking 300 feet past it. Close to it, and you're game over. It's gonna get you good. And they have a lot of aftershocks, like thousands. It'll go on for years. So that vulnerable structure, right, keeps caving in on itself. That'll never change outside of from earthquakes. You can't get in there. You can't fix that. You're not going to see scaffolding, blah, 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 cutting torches. 7-fold increase in radioactive cesium being released from Reactor 2 in April. Jeez. Just 2012 we're talking about. What? Yeah, because it's not like a banana, see? That's unit 2 over there. Let me jump that one. My fault. Good song, but my fault. Oh, okay. I done it again, did I? So you can see unit 2 over there in that corner. Don't blink. And that's radioactive releases. You can't get in, put water in a fuel pool. They've never put water in the fuel pool. The building is, all the infrastructure around it, as you can see on the ground behind me, everything is destroyed. Period. No ifs, ands, maybes, buts. Breach of containment in reactor number 2, extremely grave. Not really worried about number 3, huh? Oh, I get it, yeah. Not worried about number 4. Look at number 4, different pictures of number 4. Oh, that's fine, Dana. Like Arnie said, there's that fuel pool up in the corner, right, Arnie? And the fuel pool is up in the corner. Right, the fuel pools, those depictions I showed you, those red, just clarify that. Right? Not slick as you thought you were, Dina. Don't! I got a tendency to look away before shit happens. So that fuel pool there and that fuel pool there are going to show up. Here's Arnie's version of it. Wait for it. Right here. Now I'm in the same one. Now. Oh, I didn't want to go back to that one. It's from there to the model, right? To over there. So I got to reset it, calibrate it. So those pools, those red pools up high in the building that are supposed to be up high in this building. Okay, that's reactor 4 over there. This is what unit 2 looks like too. So those reactor cores are in a fuel pool, and that fuel pool is in the building over there. Looks like that fuel pool up there. And Arnie used to make the assemblies that went into that pool up there, and he doesn't know the difference. And he's the go-to guy, according to people out there who say they're anti-nuclear. But this is a scam to trick you, deceive you, manipulate you, suck you into that picking a side when you don't pick sides, you go with the truth. You go with the facts. You go with the documentation. There's no fucking middle left, far left, extreme left, far right, extreme right. There's facts. It's not a political shit. This is an event, an accident, a structure, a facility, a building. Each of these destroyed buildings, like they got to spend $1 billion a year in that building, but that'll never change forever and ever. When you die, they'll still spend $1 billion a year in that building. And they'll kill everybody on the planet before they give it up and tell the truth. They're incapable. They have had 70 years, and they have abrogated every opportunity. And every amount of radiation exposure increases your risk of cancer. So that's unit 3 right above, unit 2 right above me right here. You can see the destroyed reactors. You see the front ripped to pieces by the tsunami. 400 kilometers of that coastline was ripped to pieces. New TEPCO data unequivocally shows ongoing criticalities at Unit 2. And so you see that like stuff is sprayed on the building like a yellowish? That's regions. That's the aggregate radiation. That's all that is. That's the aggregate. They spray it on there to bond with any radiation. Nuclear fuel found beneath the containment vessels. Now, this is the headline from yesterday. Jeez, Danny, you took your time getting there. Workers probe underwater below plant for molten core. Mm-hmm. They're doing this apparently with equipment remote controls, and a long pipe, we hope. Otherwise, those people died yesterday. Container of number 2 reactor no longer sealed. French nuclear safety. So the container number 2 reactor, which is what the big whoop whoop is all about. But see, they've never come out and said number 3 is not sealed. That's number 3 over there, where there is no containment, where the reactor core is split basically where my finger is. So the top part of the reactor core that was running in unit 2, it was running. It was running. And the fuel pools above it are reactor cores over the last 10, 20 years. How we doing, folks? Good morning, folks. Hugs, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Ben says you got to take thyroid. Yeah. A friend of mine died within 2 years from thyroid here on the West Coast. And he married off his 3 daughters. He took a payment and married out his 3 daughters before he knew he was dying. They knew he was dying. He married them off, gave them great weddings. And a few months later, he died. His thyroid rotted. They couldn't do nothing. And I got another friend right now who's on the expeditions with us, and his thyroid's all fucked up. And he has to do the same thing now. He's heading down Ireland to get the rest of the treatment for his thyroid, because his thyroid's fucked up. And he was out on the expeditions for life, Fukushima expeditions for life with us. And he was telling me that a couple of days ago. I didn't mention it because I didn't think about it for some reason, but I seen Ben's comment there. Hi, everybody. Good morning, everybody. And let's keep moving. I screwed that up, did I? Reactor container number 2 no longer sealed. AP reveals doubt by the nuclear expert the fuel is no longer there. Measuring temperatures of empty cores are meaningless. November the 30th, 2011. Nobody knows where and how the melted fuel really is, but measuring temperatures of empty cores. Now, what was interesting about that story was the writer, Mary Yamaguchi, right, who writes all kinds of nasty Fukushima stories. Pure lies. It's the same author who says the fuel is gone. And in other stories, recent stories, he say there's no meltdown. Checks and balances. Thank you. Don't forget the thumbs up, everybody. Elaine, answers. Neil, hugs, everybody. April, Edith, CJ. Good morning, everybody. And how's the comments section? Can't pipe you in again this morning. Censor, fix it. How's it going, bud? Kathy. Good morning, folks. And let's keep rocking. And just have another little boo. See if I can say hi to anybody I forgot. Phoenix, custom paint. Thank you, Phoenix, by the way. Duck Lamb. Good morning, everybody. And everybody out there that don't comment and are sitting around watching it and got it on their podcasts, on their car or in their vehicles, and they're driving down the road listening. And I know because I get the emails from people all over the world that are highly educated, highly thoughtful, and are morally driven. And I know there's so many people out there we've never met you, have heard from you, and you're probably better off keeping it that way. But we hear from lots of people that have had enough and are willing to stand tall. And I understand that. I come from that very spectrum myself. But together, we're unique. Together, we're the first time on the planet. We're the first real resistance to come out against nuclear. Because we have this ability to stream. And I have this ability to aggregate documentation and categorize it and keep it in chronological order a lot of the times and tell that story. It's a very visual story, yeah? The fuel is no longer there. This is 2011, November the 30th. And their homes are no longer there, and their lives and their friends and family were swept away. And it's a horrible thing. Something I struggle with constantly. But at the same time, we have an extinction event playing out in the Pacific Ocean. Water injection may no longer be able to properly cool down the melted nuclear fuel because they can't find it. Right? You can't get in the building and look for it. But all of these headlines, this 2012 attempts to cool the temperature, fails because there's no way to get in there. You kill people. They die right away. It's not pretend. It's for keeps. And eventually that plays on your conscience, no matter how cold-hearted and remorseless and vile and vicious and despicable you truly are. That will play on you at some point. You see these people suffering because of what you've done to them, what you made them do, because you're a coward, because you're a monster. TEPCO is full of monsters. Your government, nuclear industry, part of your government, radiation, part of your government are monsters. Your radiation, nuclear universities, these are your monsters. The radiation specialists that have never spoke out and have lied, these are monsters. Anybody who lied, anybody told you it was like a banana, is a monster. Right? It's a simple. Anybody tell you these well-known lies, like more radiation eating a banana, that's a monster. That's a murderer. That's a killer. Same as any of these other walking in sunshine. That's a killer. And these are highly educated people lying to you, telling these well-known 70-year-old lies. Anybody in the media or university that have ever said that, it's okay to fucking hate them. It's okay to hate them forever. It's okay to despise them. It's okay to get in their fucking face and tell them it's not. That's your job. That's your responsibility. That should be your legacy, is you fucking stood up against these monsters. You don't have to do much. You just got to say you're a liar. I'm not saying go fucking hurt somebody or something like that. I'm saying tell them they're a fucking monster. Because like in this world, we're on the one person on the planet willing to come out and fucking go toe to toe. They're willing to do what they've already done to me. Have me arrested, vilify me in the media, demonize me in my community. That doesn't work, though, against someone like me. You can get rid of me and throw me in jail. That still doesn't work, though. That's only going to make it worse. Arrested me, blew up in their face the last time. Yeah? They had to follow through with it, but it blew up. Right? They can never recover from the last fuck up. Neither can I. So if TEPCO is going to put boric acid in to prevent criticality, then that means they lost the game, yeah? That means they lost the reactor, see? That's what those words mean. You don't inject boric acid unless you lost the reactor. Well, all I'm trying to say to you is the headlines yesterday saying the reactor core fuel is missing. Yeah, big surprise. Fission restarted. This is unintended chain reaction with no control rods to slow it down and control it. No water to boil it off to cool it down to stop it from running away. All the reactors lost their power sources at the one time. They all melted down. Everyone that lost their power sources from that vicious tsunami, right? You got to understand how bad that country got pounded. Let's look at some of that for a few moments to put you back in perspective. Maybe. This is 400 kilometers of your coastline. This is not just hell for her, but this is hell. Still hell. And in that hell, they picked up over 30 million one-ton bags. 30 million. There's over 10,000 separate storage sites. But this tsunami went through 400 kilometers of the coastline. It eviscerated everything. The containments and the storage, fuel ponds and everything else, they blew up. They are not indestructible. The country for 400 kilometers was ripped to shreds. The entire foundation of the country was ripped to shreds. Complete, utter, 100% destruction. But you were lied to and manipulated and deceived, saying that the power plants are indestructible, Dana. Stop worrying about it, you little ninnies. That's what you were. The PR firms and pro-nuclear, who knew what was happening, came out and made fun of you to try to ridicule you so you would shut up. Because they were loving it. They were living in the destruction. This made their day. Right? This is what their wet dreams are made of. They love seeing the victims. They will actually print out these pictures and put them on their wall and laugh about it. This is what they laugh about when they see this. They love it. This makes them smile. This is what makes a pro-nuclear happy. This is what makes your university professors happy. This is what makes your academics and your media celebrities happy. They love that. 30 million one-ton bags. The whole country's wrecked. Loving it. That's how they think. They don't see it that way, see? They like that. 30 million one-ton bags. Looks good on them. The majority of pro-nuclear are thrilled that it blew up. It's as simple as that. They revel in it. Right? They revel in the destruction. There's no other explanation that can make any sense. And so they sent in, these people died. All of these people would have died. Or have severe, vicious autoimmune deficiencies, Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, diabetes. Tokyo nuke expert, possible that nuclear reaction is taking place inside the reactor. Yeah. Explosion heard at the nuclear plant. High possibility of a meltdown for reactor number 1, said the government, the mass murder idiots that you hired to do a job. Your government is not some fucking entity that is like powerful elite. They're bootlickers. They're fucking little terrorists. Your government is terrorist. This government, nuclear industry, your nuclear media, your nuclear university, these are fucking terrorists. They meet all the definition. Telling you it's like a banana. Telling you like a potato chip. Telling you like walking in the sunshine. Will get your teeth fucking taken out of your head in a few years. High possibility of meltdown for a reactor. It doesn't matter if I exist or not. That's going to happen. Oh, Dana is calling for violence. No, I'm not. I'm fucking stating the fact. You're talking about the death of the Pacific Ocean. Dana's not the death of the Pacific Ocean, Dana. Yeah, it is. We went out there and done the whole friggin' Pacific Ocean. This is a depiction. I took the picture. But this is what it should look like on these beaches to your left. We went out and done the whole coastline. The whole coastline is naked, yeah? It's naked because these reactors are no longer 190 foot high. Right? It's an extinction event, period. Explosion heard at TEPCO, Fukushima Daiichi plant, March the 12th. Yeah. Each one of those buildings, multiple reactor cores. Each one of those buildings is the animass equivalent of thousands of Chernobyls. Each one of those buildings need $1 billion minimum a year each. Apparently. That's what they're burning on it 6 years in a row. They burnt a lot more than that, don't get me wrong, but each of the buildings has cost them around $1 billion so far each year. It'll do that for the end of time. I can't even raise $100. Links are below, but whatever. U.S. Department of Energy memo indicates aftershock resulted in explosion. That's number one. No, Dana, there's no meltdown, Dana, no explosion, no detonation, Dana, no problem, no trouble. It's like walking in sunshine, Dana. Boom. Hey, you're okay down there on your back? Which talked about the same explosion, which is an explosion from me when you tell me it's like a banana or a potato chip or walking in sunshine or getting on a fucking airplane. Those days are over, trust me. Chairman Jack Coe. Well, I forwarded you the one that got from the DOE, which may make a little bit more sense, indicate that it was a result that the aftershock, that they did, in fact, have a hydrogen explosion reactor 2, is what they're talking about. An explosion at reactor number 1 reportedly caused by damage from the quake. See, they don't like the fact that the quake can be linked to damage. Huh? To the meltdown. They don't like that. They fucking hate that thought. Because that would make all reactors dangerous immediately. See? Like, why would you have to evacuate parts of your country for anything? Nuclear is the only thing on the planet that can make you do something like that. But yet it's clean, green, too cheap to meter, and like a banana potato chip walking in sunshine. But you got to spend $1 billion a year, pick up 30 million bags, evacuate parts of your country, have a media campaign, censor everybody that comes out and tries to talk about it. And the list is just so fucking long, it's despicable. Everything, now that's Unit 2 with the hole in the side of it, the only one there that's intact, but now we know all the fuel's gone into that one. Over and over and over. Right? But all of those reactor buildings had at least 5 or 6 reactor cores in each of the building. Right? That common spent fuel pool behind it, right? In this very center is the common spent fuel pool. One of them. 9 million pounds gone. It was reported that 1535 reactor building of the Fukushima 1 was ruptured after a rather strong earthquake. The venting operation, there was no venting. You can't vent the buildings when they detonate, right? You can't vent reactor 3, reactor 4, reactor 2, reactor 1 when the whole country was just ripped apart by tsunamis. There's no power there to vent, to run vent. Everything was destroyed. Everything was ripped apart. Everything was in chaos. Everything was nightmare. Everything was unbelievable. Inconceivable. You ain't getting power into something that don't exist anymore. and the heartaches and the heartbreaks. They never even looked for the bodies for like the first 5 weeks. You ripped the entire country apart, wrecked the entire country, radiated everybody, and had all of these campaigns to cover it up. Oh no, little girl, you're getting on. You can't even find, you can only find the stuff on her fucking clothes with that shit. You need sophisticated equipment to find the internal doses. Look at this shit. 30 million 1-ton bags. Entire country destroyed. Permanently fucking ripped to pieces. Reactors completely blown up. We're still here arguing. Oh, Jesus, I don't know. It might have had a leak. Yeah, but it blew up. Right? So, significant failure containment inferred after first explosion. Significant. When you see that. Now, what is interesting about this story was they actually did. So, protective actions well beyond 50 miles if the containment failed. Now, Unit 2, it's failed. That's just a piece of antenna that fell up against it. Now, these panels are designed to blow out. They're designed to stop the building from tearing itself apart. This one got off lucky, but it melted down. Chairman Jacques, we have video footage we believe shows containment had been violated. Mr. Dorman, yes, what it is, I'll try to describe it for you. From a distance, you got the plant in the center, and you got 4 reactor buildings behind them. From the point of view of the camera is the turbine, then the sea. Turbine's the pump house. What you see is on the leftmost, which would be the Unit 1 from the vicinity of the reactor building. So Unit 1 is over in that corner right over there. Unit 2 is here. Unit 3 is the next one destroyed, and the far one over the corner is Unit 4. What you see on the left, which would be the Unit 1, is from the vicinity of the reactor building. You can see the initial vertical pulse. So when you see a pulse anyway, that's a vertical pulse. When you see a pulse like that, it's game over, right? Then a large white cloud spread out from the reactor building, and you have footage of a later image where you have the 3 reactor buildings to the right are solid white images, and the one where, the explosion occurred appears to be the metal frames portion of the building above the refueling plug and the spent fuel pool. And based on that, our assessment, it appears to have been an event that originated in the reactor building. So they're being very careful in their assessments. They're still asserting. Hang on, I'll fix it. They're still asserting. Let's keep burning. Shockwave visible during explosion at Japan's plant. March the 12th. So these buildings definitely 100%. This is quite a while after. It's like 5 weeks or something, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks after. We know that because we see they got a cement truck down there, but there's actually no pole to pump that shit into, right? We know about that fable because we already flushed this shit out. We already flushed out the nonsense, right? Right, there's no fuel pool. Like you see in the picture, the depiction over there, where TEPCO claims there's a fuel pool. Removal of fuel rods. This is also from that same story where they show you a perfectly intact fuel pool. But this is the building they're talking about, right? Utter fucking deception, right? Where they claim that pole is inside the building when the pole is supposed to be at the top of the buildings like we showed you earlier, yeah? Right, so these are official pictures of the same building. Right, and that's Unit 3 where even Helen Caldicott claims there's a pole above it. Like a real mental illness that these people have, a very dangerous one. Radioactive plumes always coming out of Fukushima Reactor 3. Water's not getting the hotspot. Reach 9,000 to get out of the containment. Bolted cars! 3 fucking buildings. 1, 2, and 3. But reactor 4 is not a distraction. Reactor 4 is full of reactor cores, and they lied about it. They lied and said they were getting the fuel out of the pools that didn't exist. We lost the inventories, which are reactor cores. So lies all around. Reactor 4 was not badly damaged compared to the other reactors. There was no core meltdown. The cores were in the pools. They melted down and disappeared. The caught fire, blew up, caught fire, blew up. Not necessarily in that order, but close to it. There's reactor 2. We're almost through it, eh? We're going to come in on the schedule, by the looks of it. Whatever that is. Let me see. We got to make it up to 96, which is pretty easy. It's 65, 66. Fukushima reactor cores melted right down to the ground, and radioactive material is getting washed out into the Pacific Ocean. Discharge of Fukushima material in the Pacific effectively contaminated the sea. Just being a shithead. So we went out and done the expeditions. We showed an extinction event in the British Columbia, Canada, on the coastline. 260 days, 15,000 miles of the coastline is documented for you up at the nuclearproctologist.org. You got to come over here to make some sense of it sometimes. Melted reactor cores will burn again if water is not perpetually poured in. That's what they're putting into the tanks. But look how much power rips apart these tanks. Yeah, but it never hurt the reactors. They're kryptonite, Dana. Shut up. Morons. TEPCO. If they got to pour water on these melted cores, it washes into the ground and gets whisked out into the ocean because they're on a hill. It's Unit 2 in the corner. Let's boogie through this shit. Completely beyond comprehension how huge the contamination in the ocean will be. It's spreading over the whole world. And even the stuff they put in the landfills gets washed out with typhoons and just rain and snow and everything else. Death ashes went throughout the country. That gets washed out to sea every time it rains. Everything the death ash lands on radiates. It radiates it like a screwdriver is magnetized by a car battery. Everything is radiated by radiation being in proximity to it. It's fucking nasty shit, isn't it? These are the fables. They're feeding you over and over and over. These are the victims. They're not doing anything the way it should be done. They're using homeless, destitute, and the mob, and they're making it worse. That's all they're fucking doing there is making it worse. They won't admit they got an issue, and we don't know, and we can't help them because they won't let anybody in there. Nuclear engineer, huge spray of radioactive material from plant contained plutonium. Yeah. This is a disaster of all humanity, the entire world. It's an international level with huge consequences. It's now bigger than anything they or us can cope with, but we won't even try. That's 2014. 2015. Journalists, contaminated seawater will circulate around the globe. The disaster like a huge cloth expanding every day, fucking up the entire planet forever. For every generation. We've got an extinction event in the Pacific Ocean. That's another shot of Unit 2. More shots of Unit 2 you've ever seen in your life today, I bet. TEPCO made Fukushima plant into a machine for generating radioactive water. It produces more than you put in there. It's a breeder reactor at this stage. The runoff from the molten atomic core is now in the groundwater. From the atomic cores is fissionable product. The consequences are nothing shy of an extinction event for everything. And we have to fight back. We have to go to war. We have to go to battle. We have to come up with solutions, mitigations. We have to have war crimes tribunals. We have to end everything nuclear. We have to prosecute them. We have to deal with it. We have to move forward on it. We have to get busy. Outside help offered to deal with TEPCO debacle. TEPCO is a fucking company. Just a company is allowed to wreck the entire planet so the nuclear industry can get another fucking paycheck for another couple of years and wreck everybody else for another few years and fuck up everything for another couple of years. Because eventually they're going to die. In the next few years, they can't last. The Pacific is fucking dead this year. This is the last year for whales. Get out and see them now, because they're gone. They're all starved to death. They're all emaciated. Everything that dies now is starved to death. Every bird. And we've seen up to 5 million at a time starved to death. It hasn't stopped. Slowed down because they're all died over the last 6 years, basically. Over 30 million permanently affected, 14,000 square kilometers. 14,000. 14,000. What was the date on that? 2015. Millions, including kids and infants, exposed every day after the government fucked them. Handful of people fucked them. The government employees and the radiation departments and the university radiation and nuclear scientists fucked them. Your nuclear scientists won't speak out. Your academics won't speak out. Your journalists won't speak out. You're being fucked by just a small group of people. Just a small group of fucking people are fucking us, killing everything on the planet. 10,000 baby sea lions on one fucking island. All starved to death. Spent my whole life on the ocean. Someone told me that I call me a lawyer because I spent my whole life on the ocean. But because I'm a nuclear expert, I get it. I went out and done the research myself. It's available for free for everybody up at my website, thenuclearproctologist.org. For as long as I can afford to maintain that fucking thing. We don't stop. There's no organization out there can run into them. And nobody can afford to. I can't run into them. I can't get out there and get in their faces. I can't hold press conferences. I can't get out into the communities because I can't even raise $100 fucking regularly. I should just go away. I really should. Fears of environmental calamity from Japan's disaster. Japan nuclear expert. It's like I gave up on fucking humanity. This is how I feel most fucking days. I really do. There's 8 million species on the fucking planet. Don't get me wrong, there's so many good people out there that have got us this far. I'm not saying that. There's not good people. I'm just saying we shouldn't have had to, they shouldn't have had to do it. I shouldn't have had to do it. The academics were supposed to fucking do it. The journalists were supposed to do it. The institutions, the government employees, the people that are here censoring me right now from fucking Victoria, right? From that fucking cyber task force here in Canada, tasked with destroying me, wrecking me, silencing me, finding you and wrecking you so they can have a fucking job, are the worst people we've ever encountered on this planet. History will show they were the most destructive. They caused the most damage by silencing us, by stopping the truth from coming out to protect a couple of fucking murderers. These are cunts. Excuse the language. These are unbelievable fucking pricks, monsters that are doing this to us. These are fucking thugs in every sense of that word. They think because they got a badge or they got some authority, it's okay to fucking censor me to protect the nuclear industry and their assets. It's the biggest betrayal imaginable. They should kill themselves right now. They should fucking just jump right out that fucking window right now. Unit 1, 2, 3 of nuclear waste on the floor from the melted cars. Like, let's get something straight. Ultimately, these people are going to pay that price. Right? They done it to themselves. All of them. We're leading the charge. And that's the best we could hope out of this. Because they won't give us a chance. Because they insist the planet needs to be in the dark right until the very end. So they can have a fucking job. It's just a handful of people doing this to us. And like they're dedicated. It's more than a job to them. They got the job because they wanted the job. They got the job because they're heartless, because they're true monsters. They're soulless, spineless, fucking monsters that have to hide away. They can't come out, make a video, and challenge me. Nobody can challenge me. You can't challenge me because I'm fucking right, because I'm honest, because I'm morally driven, because you can't do what I can do. You don't have that head on your shoulder. You're not fucking smart enough to challenge me. You're not even able to articulate it. The ones that are working in the systems, I can go beat Dina. No, you can't. I wreck you. I bash you in a fucking heartbeat. Any of you. There's nothing out there I can't take into a real conversation, to a real debate, and I fucking destroy you. So, each reactor building, the fuel pools actually hold 3,450 assemblies, right? And so, if you take the 3 buildings and the common spent fuel pool, you're talking about 1.3 million. Yeah? Or 22 million pounds, roughly. Holy fuck, man. And Chernobyl was what, 50 tons? One common pool at ground level in a separate building. Each reactor top pool holds 3,450 assemblies. They've been there for 40 years. Right? They're empty. All of that is gone. And there's 6,291 fuel rod assemblies. Each assembly has 63 rods, allegedly. So they say here, that means the Fukushima plant may contain over 600,000 spent fuel rods. It's actually a lot more than that. When you look at the fuel cycles, the years to keep all the fuel on the site, most of it's in the building or the spent fuel pool. So when you do the math, you're well over 22 million pounds anyway. Each reactor top pool. That's her. That's it. That's all of it. That's the show. That's what we got. That's what we did. We did it. We did it, mister. And that was fucking tough. Go, man. The sun's out anyway. Starting to warm up a little bit here. Thank Jesus. Please donate. Get me over this fucking hump I'm in. I got 0 cash left. We got no fuel in the boat whatsoever. Need at least 200 to fill up the basic tanks. It's shocking that I can't go out and just do little species counts locally. To me it is, right? That's my only way to escape the stuff I do all day, every day, year after year, is to go out and see if I can encounter some of the species left out there. And I know a lot of you don't see the results of that, but you will. The results are, I sit here every day. That's the results of it. It reinforces it so much for me each time. It breaks my heart on top of that. And I don't know how else I'm supposed to do it. I don't have the time I don't want to start trying to sell t-shirts and fucking hats and stupid shit to try to keep this afloat. Because we're talking about a fucking extinction event. It's not maybe. It's not even if, right? Is it? It's fact. That's exactly what this is. This is an extinction event. This planet will never see anybody like us again. As articulating and morally driven as we are. We are the very persona of life. We fight for it day in, day out. We fight for that opportunity. We fight for the future generations. We fight for the fauna, the flora, the insects, the mammals, the birds, the animals, the unknown creatures, the ones we haven't discovered. We fight for those who eat the rice, the contaminated food, the contaminated products. We fight for that right to be able to use our voice, to have a reason, the reason to survive, a reason to live, a reason to get up every morning. We have a purpose. It's not one that we ever expected so many years ago when we wondered what our future hold. When we grew up, we always thought we would grow up and have just a insignificant, humble life. We didn't understand that the world would be thrust upon us and that the moral compass would stare us in the face and beg us to use our voices, to beg us to use our will, to impose our will upon an entity that was intent upon destroying everything you covered. We are here. We are the resistance. We are not to be denied. Hugs.